Up next, you've seen his writing on SNL. We have Gary Richardson. She's written for Problem Areas. Bring out Carrie Coddett. He's written for The Rundown with Robin Thede. This is Alex English. And last but not least, we have Randall Otis, writer on The Daily Show. All right. So I'm going to ask a question first, and we're just going to go down the line. All of you guys can answer it. All right. So what process did you take to land your writing job? And what advice can you provide for aspiring writers to get into your role?
Anybody?
Yeah, we're just going to do it out loud.
Fuck you. My most recent writing job, well, I have an agent and a manager, so I get packets in, and some of the packets, if you guys don't know, it's literally like an audition for a show. You have a very limited turnaround time. They give you some sample things that they want you to hit to let you know like what the show is about to be, and they ask you to submit. Some of the shows have a blind submission, where it means that they don't look at your name with the packet, they just read it and let your work speak for itself. So my last job was a blind submission packet, and my very first writing job, I was a stand-up on, I was just doing stand-up, and I knew that someone had a show, and I happened to be in a lineup with them. And I was like, if I see them, if they get to see my stand-up, they'll know that I can write for their show. So I like procrastinated on the lineup, waiting for this person to come, because he was like a big deal, and I like fake pretended I had gas or some shit. I was like, I can't go up yet. And then when he came in, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then I went up and I fucking destroyed. And then afterwards, he was like, give me your email. I want you to write for my show. So that happened too. Gary?
It wasn't even, I made a short film. I was, I don't know, I thought that a bunch of shit was whack, and I was like, I'm talking a lot of shit about stuff. I should probably make something of my own, you know? So, gotta have something to show myself. So, yeah, I don't know, I put the short film out, and this guy was staffing for a show and was like, I think your short film's great. Do you want to talk? We talked, and then he was like, you want to work for me? I was like, yeah. It was that. It wasn't too crazy. I think I just like made some shit, and he was like, bet. I was like, cool. Yeah.
This is not helpful.
At all.
Bet, nigga.
At all.
No, that is helpful.
No, it's not. You over here, she like, I murdered, and then the nigga hired me. And you over here like, yeah, I made a movie, then the nigga hired me.
Yeah,
Just be cool, baby.
That's real
Okay,
shit.
wait. All right,
That's real shit.
Okay.
Let's stop
Thank you.
Because the thing is, like, we are all stand-up comedians.
Yeah, y'all
so, they pick the worst people to give
And
y'all
we're
advice,
drinking,
like-
so.
We're off the
We
rails.
don't take shit serious.
If y'all ain't got
if
shit
y'all really
by
want to hear
now,
some shit, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
If y'all didn't get shit from the
Like-
first 3 sections, like y'all ain't getting shit.
You got what you came for, you know?
It's the
We learned a lot
Yeah,
tonight.
it's the reason why they asked us to go last. You know, like, we don't know what we drinking on stage. Like, I don't know
These
what.
are all my friends, and I fucking love them.
Yeah,
But
like-
let me tell you, okay, so we are all performers, okay? So I will say my route that I got to the Daily Show, I literally packed up all my shit. I was ready to fucking go back home to LA where I'm from. Whoop, whoop. Yes, I was, Nova. Yes, I called her and told her, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And I had no idea at UCB, which is Upright Citizens Brigade, for some of you who don't know, I had been performing improv with the EP at the Daily Show and had no idea he had been watching my ass for a whole year. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna pitch you to write for the Daily Show. And I said, excuse me? And I didn't even know who he was, so I hit up my homegirl Keisha, who we know, a great writer, and I was like, Keisha, who the fuck is this? Shout out Keisha Zoller.
Keisha,
You
yeah,
know,
like,
got a
big up to
Pluto
Keisha.
Netflix
Trust
deal,
Big up to
astronomy
Keisha.
club. We ain't shit.
You can always trust the Keisha.
We all got
Yeah,
our
shout out
jobs
to
do.
Keisha.
5 mics on the stage. Bad idea.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I was like, Keisha, this nigga talking about he an EP at the Daily Show. Because, you know, people be lying. And she was like, bitch, he is an EP. Respond to that text message. I said, oh, okay, cool. But the thing was, I had sketches already ready. I didn't have jokes. Me and Novi were like doing all-nighters because we were both trying to submit for the Kimmel packet.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me, but it worked out for you.
Okay.
Good for you, sis.
First of all,
Thank you for bringing that up.
First of all, Novi is gonna be in the writers' room. Remember this fucking name. My bitch is bad. Like, she is going to fucking.
I couldn't agree more. Let's go ahead.
But you know what? What I was gonna say, your story, I've heard your story, and it's beautiful. I know I basically have seen everyone on this panel, and I think we all know for a fact that it was just like our stand-up and the improv that we were in that kind of got us. That's a perfect example of just like, you have to in some writers' rooms now, they're pulling from so many. They're pulling from stand-up comedians that perform every night. They're pulling from Instagram comedians. They're trying to find literally everybody.
Well, they don't count.
Yeah. Wow. No, but I'm saying like in the general aspect of it, this is what they're looking for these people. So they're pulling from all different parts. For me, same as like you described getting your agent and manager or whatever, but like, you know, you get that through through stand up. Like I got my agent, I got my representation just by being really fucking funny. You know, like I'm just I just really got on stage, and like my manager, my to-be manager at the time, saw me in the crowd, and he was like, "Oh, I like you." We had a couple talks and stuff, and things went good. And then out of nowhere, I didn't even know I could be like a TV writer. I was like, I got a degree in English, so I can write. Like, yeah, but like, I don't fucking I didn't know I could write for TV. I didn't know that was a possibility. I just wanted to do stand-up. So to me, this was like another thing for me. It wasn't like the thing that I was like, oh, I want to go into television. Like, I wanted to be on stage, but I didn't realize that a lot of my favorite stand-up comics were television writers as well. So for us, I think it's a different experience because we started out one thing, and then TV writing became like our next title. Which
I hear you. I don't think it's a different thing.
Really?
Not at all. I think that like if you want to get a job to get a job, you gotta have you gotta have something to show. I think at the end of the day, that's all it is.
That's true. But
That's
what's more to show than you on stage?
Actually,
I think
started off
that
in
you need
improv.
I think that you need like a physical thing. You need a
Mm-hmm.
physical thing to show.
Tangible
You
thing.
gotta be able to hand somebody.
I don't
something
like
this
giving
is
people
my
shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you. I hear you.
I'll show you better than I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you had to put together something to get
That's
your
true.
job.
I had to write the packet. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have something. You gotta have something.
So
Like,
Gary
that's like
got your ass. Go, Novi. I'm sorry.
Wait,
Randall,
wait,
you
hold
have
up,
anything?
Oh, Randall. Sorry,
gotta
Randall.
talk.
What? I mean, I got my job through LinkedIn.
No, this is no fucking lie.
I'm actually not kidding.
No fucking lie.
Wait a minute, I need to hear
Yeah.
more about that because I thought LinkedIn was a scam.
No, he started out
straight
as a
up.
researcher.
Yeah, I wasn't a writer at The Daily Show first. I got a message on LinkedIn saying, "Do you want to submit to be a researcher?" And I ignored it because I thought it was spam. And then he texted me. He's like, "No, for real, I'm not playing." And so I did that, and I was a researcher for a while. And then at The Daily Show, you can just pitch, like no matter who you are, even if you're not a writer. So I would do all these pitches for segments, and a lot of them went to air. And so that kind of boosted my profile. And then I had, like, this is very particular, but I had a viral video, and then someone else tried to poach me. And then I was saying, hey, I'm gonna leave, but I would love to be a writer. And then they're like, sure, you can submit. And so I stayed at The Daily Show because they offered me a job, and there's a lot of black people there, so yeah.
Yo, how mad was the writers when the researchers got more shit on TV? You know what I mean?
No, we was never mad. Like when Randall got hired, I sent it to Chatter, which goes to everybody. I said, "Mo niggas in the writers' room." I was very excited, and
That
it's
was
mostly
crazy.
white people because I
don't
don't give
do
a
that.
fuck. I love Randall,
Reply
and
all,
he's great.
more niggas.
No, Mo niggas.
It's in the subject line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually helps me
I was
pivot
like, I
into the
just
next
got this
question.
job,
Yeah.
nigga, chill.
So you guys can all chime in on this. So if you have a story you want to share, or if you just want to give advice, how do you guys navigate microaggressions in the writer's room?
What the fuck are y'all talking about? Why is everybody talking about it?
They hit the audience like, wait.
Everybody was like,
It's a common experience.
Why people being weird?
y'all sound like, oh my God, it sound like just a whole ass church. Like,
Whoa.
They
Somebody
got
walked
the fans
up
out and
Somebody
shit.
walked up out of here when she said that shit. Like, no, fuck this.
Yeah, I can't
can't
deal
believe
with this shit.
The mention of a microaggression is a microaggression.
I'm so happy we last. Oh my God. Go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
I
babe.
think Gary.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, you haven't spoken, sir.
What's on your heart?
What the fuck are you
But
talking
in
about?
the last like 5, this is my friend.
Guys,
don't worry, y'all.
let's-
Like,
I swear I've been talking.
Yeah.
but like, no, like.
Do you
I
have you
We're not
experienced?
What's
Answer
going
one
on?
question by the
Gary,
end of
have
this.
you experienced some microaggression?
I don't know. I guess I deal with it like I'm like, man, it's a job. It's like any other fucking job. It's
Yeah,
like
it
I'm
is.
not. I don't go there to fucking like have the time of my life. I'm going there to get rent. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, bet. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get this rent. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Like, yeah.
Yes,
Be
Gary
wild.
is
I don't
from
care, dog. I don't,
Chicago,
like-
Chi-Town.
I'm
Don't
from
give
St.
a fuck.
Louis.
Oh,
St. Louis.
oh
my.
wait.
He did
you
improv in
comedy in
Chicago.
Wow,
Chicago.
they call me Chicago.
That's
I'm
what
from
that's
St.
what my
Louis.
mind
Yeah.
is. Cause you a real ass
Midwest.
nigga. But yeah, I would piggyback on what Gary said. It is a job, and I guess you know Randall could speak to that too, because we're in the writers' room together. I don't really deal with like microaggressions, like really at my job. I've dealt with it at other places, but it's just kind of like everybody knows like who the fuck I am. The way I am here on stage is the way I am in the writers' room, and most of the shit I say can't go on air. Like, but it's like, yeah, everybody knows who I am, and I think that the writers that didn't really know how to, because it takes a specific skill to know how to pitch on somebody else's voice. So some of the writers that necessarily didn't know how to do that without altering my joke, I stayed true to who I was, and they figured it the fuck out on how to pitch on my jokes, like within like what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, it's Trevor picks the joke. Like, it's ultimately what he wants. It's like whatever's that joke. So I fortunately, when I have dealt with it on sets and in other rooms, I just like was like, hey, come here. And it depends on like, did I meditate that day? Did I have my orange juice? Because sometimes I don't feel like it. Like, I don't have to, it's not my job as the oppressed to fucking teach your ass. But it's like, if we're gonna be working together for these next 8 weeks, maybe I should pull you to the side because you said a few things that was just out of pocket. So I will pull somebody to the side. But fortunately, I have not dealt with that at my current job where I'm at right now.
Like
Word.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, for me, I guess, I just don't really be thinking about white people like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really be thinking about, like, I mean, because the microaggressions from, like, you know, I mean, it's usually that. You know, they come from, and I'm like, I don't really, like, fortunately for me, too, I've been in 2 situations where it hasn't been, like, an all-white or one person, one thing writer room. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to Robin Thede for putting all black people and then one old white dude in a room, you know, because that was great, you know. But I don't know, I guess the way I would deal with microaggressions, usually like with any job, like Gary said, or with any social situation either. I mean, you could apply this to your show, social and business acumen, if you will. I mean,
Not acumen.
If you will.
Did
I
you
hope
say
you going
acronym?
for-
Acumen.
Where you going with this?
I mean, I
Alex?
told y'all I have an
So-
English
SAT
degree,
word.
okay? Like, I mean, I just have it.
He's a writer.
But I mean, like, what I love to do is tell people to, like, repeat themselves. Like, yeah, I'm like, can you say that again? Like, say it again to me. Say no matter, think of any microaggression, anything, like, can you say that to me one more time? And as soon as they say it, they feel fucking stupid. You know what I mean? And then that's when I'm like, oh, so this was a learning lesson for you, you know?
Yes, Gary.
I don't
mean,
have
Alex.
to say nothing. There's no work involved. I did it all just by asking you to repeat yourself. So, and so many of, like, I've been able to communicate. That was, shout out to therapy. You know what I mean? Because my
This is
therapist,
an ad for therapy. This is a PSA
My-
for therapy.
my therapist taught me that trick. And they were like, anytime somebody says something to you that bothers you, tell them, can you repeat that for me? Like, and it works like a charm. So I would use that as my top-notch technique to deal with it, yeah.
I also just getting like backup. I remember like there's this one I was helping punch up for this field piece, and they had this segment in of this like black woman who was not doing anything in particular, and they were laughing. I'm like, oh, the joke's that she's black and poor. And so I just called in another black person on the show. I'm like, oh, do you think this is funny? And he's like, no. I was like, why don't you think it's funny? He's like, because there's no joke here. And then they just look stupid. Because you're like, yeah, you and the other person are comics, and they're, yeah, just like having backup about a point, having other black people there. Or
Hopefully there's other black people on
I
your
know,
writing
that's
staff,
hard.
right?
Yeah. We're lucky because we got a lot, but just going to other black people at your job and just like rallying your cause. You just kind of have to like get a posse.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good Martin reference that yo coworkers know. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
I
Wait,
hate having to
real quick,
explain
Alex,
shit.
let me ask you, what is your favorite scene from Martin?
Oh, okay.
Wait.
What is your
You-
favorite
okay.
scene? Okay.
I mean, okay,
Okay.
you know, you got Sit Lay.
This is not
Sit
Super
Lay
Bowl.
is definitely like the best, like
I mean-
New York Undercover, like
I mean, that's like up
New
to
Jack City.
Okay.
That was like top. I mean, okay, but you also got like let's see,
Rhythm spoons.
Rhythm Spoons. I mean, yeah.
I got so many. I love Rhythm Spoons. I love Nama Mama Biscuit.
This is,
I love
I
you
hope you guys are
showing
taking notes
swollen
on this.
right around your colon. I love Jerome.
All right, we're gonna keep this going on to the
Okay.
next.
See what happens?
Wait, no, I gotta
See
know.
what
We
happens?
know. We can't just
See
hit
what
two.
happens? See
I
what
need to
happens?
hear everybody. No, I mean, I need to, this is important shit.
I mean, this is healthy
It's like,
dialogue.
if you
It
can't
is.
trust what I believe is the best Martin, how can you trust what I'm saying?
Fair.
If you can't trust me there,
Yeah,
what
because if you like the last season of Martin, then you got to get out my writer's room. You know, like,
Yeah.
Get the
Facts.
fuck on out of here.
worst
Facts.
season by far. If you like that, I mean, do you really like television? You know?
I ain't about to sit here and just talk
so-
wild about Martin like at any seat. You never just talk wild about my guy.
But see, that's a controversial subject amongst
Absolutely.
the culture.
This is
so
why
we
there's
have to
only
discuss
one
it.
black person in the writer's room at a time.
Yes, we
When
gonna
y'all
start
get two of y'all
cutting
together.
I'm
save
just
that
saying
for
the
the
best
after
scene
party.
is GTD.
Go ahead, Nobi.
All right. So, what advice do
saying.
you have for using what makes you unique in your POV and what you write?
I missed the question.
You know what, Gary?
I missed it. I'm asking that for real, missed it.
What advice do you have for using what makes you unique in your POV in your writing?
Do it. I would say whatever makes one of my favorite jokes. It didn't get a laugh because it was a pimp joke, but one of my favorite jokes and I said it in rewrite, and Trevor said it on air, and like all the white people, because white people pimps are not funny to them. But pimps are very funny to me. I grew up around them, and the culture is very funny. It's very funny. It's fucked up, but it's funny. So I said that, and Trevor loved it. But when it went to when he said it on air, like the white people were like, and I immediately called my mom. I was like, I'm getting fired today. Like, and then I talked to Trevor about it, and he was like, X, I loved it. Like, what do you, like, the audience doesn't always know what to laugh at. They don't always laugh at the right things. So I would say, do your shit. Like, say what you think is funny, and, like, ultimately, who I need to make happy is the person writing my checks. You feel me? So it's just kind of like, you may not, if you're working in late night or if you're working in something else, like definitely write for the voice of the show, but definitely be you, because that's why the fuck they hired me, is because I'm me and I bring something different that no one else can bring to that room. So it's like, just be me. And I always reflect back to that moment, Novi, whenever I feel like insecure, like, fuck, should I say that? Should I say this? Like, should I do this Ray J reference right now? You know, and always do it.
Always do the
Do a Ray
Ray
J
J
reference.
Yo, remember his reality show?
We're not. We can't
No,
divert.
no.
We can't divert. Sorry.
Okay, my bad. I
That's
got
for
real
later.
excited.
I'm gonna help you out, Novi. I got your back.
I-
Danger! She smashed the homies. Danger! She's my bad. That's all right. Go ahead.
Fuck Alex up.
Y'all know.
Never smoked before a panel, yo. It's really good. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I would say definitely stay true to who you are. And I think a lot of times we have a tendency to judge ourselves through other people's eyes. Like, if I speak this way, are they gonna know that I'm smart? If I do this, and I'm from Brooklyn, undeniably, I just do this. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn stand up, I got biceps, so I'm already aggressive. Like, there's no way around it, so just lean into who you are, and X is right. It's like, they hired you for your point of view. So the show that I worked on, I was fortunate because the showrunner was a black man, the host was a black man, the room was one of the most diverse rooms, but all black people are not the same, right? And we all don't have the same perspective. And my late night show that I worked on was unique because it was about policing, and we did 10 episodes trying to solve policing in America. And I had a different perspective on the police than everybody else. And it's a fairly liberal show, so people are like, fuck the police to a certain extent. But there's certain things that I know from being in Brooklyn, from having been arrested several times, that I could be like, nah, that's not the way bookings works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go in on Friday, you're going to be on the weekend, you're going to be on Monday. That's not realistic turnaround time. You know what I'm saying? And before I might have been self-conscious about being that, but this is who I am, this is the perspective that I'm coming from, and this is what makes it real and true. So lean into that, lean into what makes you you, and be unapologetically in that regard. Unapologetic.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't even have anything new to say to that except.
Perfect.
No, wait.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Except.
Go ahead,
You can ask
Randall.
another question.
Except just for the fact that when I went to my meeting for the rundown, which was on BET, I went into my meeting and she was just like, well, tell me about yourself. And I was like, I'm a gay-ass, black-ass dude from Detroit. What else do you need? You know, like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in my packet, I wrote a joke relating Betsy DeVos to Foxy Brown. You know, like, how else? I know that's not gonna get all the love in Brooklyn, but it's okay. I'm willing to deal with that. But it got me my job. So I'm like, yeah, be yourself, do the jokes that you want to do, write the stuff. It don't have to be comedy. Like, write the stuff that you want to do, the stuff that matters to you, the stuff that's relevant to you, and the right person will see it and cherish that for what it is, because it's authentically you. But be authentically yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Do what makes you, what the thing that makes you laugh or the thing that inspires you, put that on paper and give it to them, and that'll help.
And also, whether or not they accept it, it don't matter because the check still comes.
Yeah.
Like, you still getting paid. So I would say that too, don't be emotionally attached to your shit when you have a job. You're working for somebody, it's a fucking job. Sorry.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask one more question, and then we're going to open it up to a Q&A. So if you guys want to get at both of the mics, we'll get to as many of you as possible. But my last question for you guys is, what resources do you guys recommend for improving your craft? Like, how do you get better at writing?
I would say the stage. I'd say just like write shit, make sure people see it, see if people fucking with it. If they not, figure out why, and make that shit better. That's it for real. Just like put your shit up. I don't think it's harder than that. I don't think. Yeah,
Do your shit. Put your shit up.
I don't think there's no website for it. It's like just like write shit. Make sure people see the shit.
Okay, and piggybacking
Does that
on
make
Gary.
sense?
Piggybacking on
Does that sound crazy? Do I sound dismissive or something? Or
No,
like,
no, nigga, you got it. You got it. Hold your shit. You got it.
I'm trying to
I
keep
got
it.
you.
I'm like,
Niggas, y'all got shit? Do that shit.
No, okay.
I feel
Shut up and do that
I
shit.
feel like I'm out here. I feel like I'm like a little slumped. I got the Birks on. I got the socks on. Everybody like he's an uncle, and I'm like not having like full sentences the way that I normally do, right? So I feel like folks think that I'm bringing that uncle energy, but I feel like I'm dropping heat right now.
But you know,
I feel like I'm really dropping gems and ain't nobody fucking with it. And everybody looking at me like, I'm like, hey, yo, your mama said you still in school. How's school? And I'm like, nah, I'm talking
They're not
about
ready for
real
the
shit.
I
I'm talking about real shit.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, bro. You know you my brother. You know you my brother. I
I feel like I'm out
got
here
you.
like,
No,
came here for
nigga, you
information.
dropping heat. But
Yeah.
I'm just going to listen. For the person that necessarily is not a performer, or maybe is
Right.
trying to figure out, you know what, I am new to performing. I don't really have a network of people like that. I will say this, like I said before, Upright Citizens Brigade, the Pit, Magnet Theater, also the Tank. The Tank is a place where you can go and put stuff up for free. The Tank will also allow you to post in their email list to find other actors. You should be going to other plays and go to Mod Night and go see who wrote what sketch. Find them after the show. Go to their Instagram, reach out to them, because how you can put up plays, sketches, or certain things like that, you have to have a cast. So that's a free resource to find a cast. The Tank is a free resource to have a space to put it up. Do you see what I'm saying? Also in those groups, who you know, connect with people here. There's somebody here who does camera. There's somebody here who edits. You guys can all be here for the cause. feed people, pay for their Ubers, be like, that's all the budget I got, and put up your digital sketches and shit that you can. I'm dead ass. The least you could do is
Sis,
get a
have you
bitch
seen
a
how
burger.
expensive Uber is right now?
Get a bitch a burger.
What?
Well, listen,
Them
you need
surge
to,
prices,
but
sis.
let me
Them
tell
surge
you-
prices.
But let me tell you, well, you
Cool.
need to figure it the fuck out. You need to be eating rice and beans for a couple of days so you could pay your editor
That's
and your
true.
fucking
That's
camera
true.
department
She's spitting
to
real
fucking travel their ass all the way down to Manhattan because you want to get a fucking shot in Central Park while you in a fucking tree like this and they doing all this fucking work. Figure it the fuck out. You got
Man.
your hair done, bitch. Fucking
Go off,
pay your
man. Go
editor.
off.
Pay your fucking camera department. Bitch,
All right.
I raised $17,000 in February to pay my fucking people. You can find
Okay,
the
you're
fucking money.
cursing
All right.
out hypothetical people right now.
I'm
I
cursing
like to
everybody.
say-
Fuck that. I'm hyped right now.
Don't let me hear about your mama saying that you ain't been going to school. don't let your mama tell me you ain't been going
Yes,
to school.
Uncle Elroy.
Do we have any other
The collection
resources
will
we
be
wanna
passed
share?
around at the
Yeah.
end of this show, y'all. Don't leave immediately after this. The collection will be passed after this.
Yes. What's the resources, Carrie? Go
I
ahead.
think, if you're a stand-up, stay on stage, but also record every single set. Go home, listen to the set, be analytical. Do a transcription of the set so you actually know what it looks like written down. Try to take out some of those verbal tics, the ums, the right, do I really? Take those things out. If you're a sketch writer, keep writing sketches. Take classes. I'm a big fan of classes. So like she said, the UCB, the Pit is really good for classes. Also, Gotham's Writers Workshop is a good class. I literally just paid for a subscription for masterclass.com. Y'all, I love masterclass.com. Let me tell you something. Get 3 friends because it's $90 for one class. So the Shonda Rhimes screenwriting class brought me in. It will save your fucking life. I'm in it. This is where I'm supposed to be this weekend, but I'm out here fucking with y'all. I'm supposed to be writing a pilot. But like the master class is awesome. It breaks it down into 10 to 12 different lessons. It's video lessons. It's 12 minutes. She tells you to watch scripts, how to deconstruct the scripts, how to watch TV shows and actually look, you know exactly what you're looking for. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. You need to learn your craft. Always stay in class. Yeah, write shit. If you write stand-up, look at the news, do monologue jokes. If you feel passionate about some stuff, like I write shit on Facebook, and what I recently started doing was every time I felt myself ranting on Facebook, like the Jay-Z and NFL thing, I stopped myself, because I'm like, I'm giving these niggas these gems for free. And what I did was I turned it into an article for the Washington Post, and it went viral, and I got a coin for it. You know what I mean? So like, figure out how to monetize your stuff. If you write a blog, figure out how to pitch the Atlantic, pitch Huffington Post, pitch the Washington Post. To do that, you need a query letter. A query letter is when you send an editor the letter of intent. What do you intend to pitch in this article? And you attach writing samples, or even your query letter, if it's written strong enough, they'll give it to you. And they may not publish it, but I always got all my shit published. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. Just write your shit.
So your shit, you may be shit, but I'm the shit.
Those are the major takeaways.
Yeah,
I'm the shit and do
takeaway is
it.
that
If you
I'm
wanna
the
do
shit
it,
and you're not.
No. Y'all not here talking
Write
about
that
do
down.
that shit. Somebody gonna find that shit. I'm on the Daily Show. This is actionable shit. Get you a query letter. Somebody will pick that up and you might could get a check for it. Even if you don't, put it on your blog, on your WordPress. Stay writing. Write every day. Okay, I'm done. I'm turned.
I have Jordan turn.
all right, we got
You did good, sis. You did good, sis.
All right, Alex, actually, we're going to open it up to the Q&A.
Sorry about that.
Oh, wait, no.
No, I'm the moderator. We're
Get
gonna
yours
open it
off,
to
bro.
Q&A.
Yo, Alex, get yours
Very
off.
short. This is very short.
Get
yours off, dog.
15
Please,
seconds.
just read a book. I'm
Any
serious.
book?
Read a
What book?
The Bible.
Tell you,
No.
Regardless, I'm serious. No, but I'm serious.
Specifically,
though.
Okay,
think like a
irregardless.
man.
Read a book.
Irregardless,
Just read a book.
read a book.
Regardless, like I don't care if you're a stand-up and improv. Like you can get inspired by reading other people's works.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Facebook, Twitter. Like get off of the internet and read a book.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
I
can
will
get
say.
inspired.
Okay,
You can
I'm
get
about to
inspired.
cut you off there. We're going to go ahead and start
Wait,
the
nah,
Q&A.
I got to hear my nigga Randall's suggestions. I hate to cut up, but I gotta hear my nigga Randall talk. I
We
gotta
are
hear
the
my nigga
ones-
Randall talk
Novi,
right now.
We're going to have, so for the first Q&A, we'll have someone directed at Randall, but
Okay,
I'm going to cut
bet.
you
Yo,
off.
Randall, it's coming to you, dog. It's coming to
That's
you.
Gary,
right.
I'm going to kick you off the
It's coming to
stage.
you, dog. Just be ready for
Sucks.
that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and open up here.
Hi, hello. My name is Cherie Danielle. I'm an actress, content creator, have a one-woman show, getting into stand-up, writing screenplays. I just wanted to ask for you guys that are artists and writers, like, how do you somewhat manage it all or balance it all? Like, is it like you got like a literary agent first, and then like does the literary agent help you with booking, acting jobs or stand-up stuff? Like, how does it all work doing all of them? I'm just curious.
Yeah, let's start with Randall with this one. Randall does it all well. Great social media presence, great hair.
Thank you.
Great.
How do you, the agent stuff, that's literally all new to me. I just got an agent like 2 months ago, so I don't really know much about that. But in terms of balancing everything else, I mean, to me, it all kind of bleeds into each other. Like, I'll have an idea, and then I'm like, all right, I have Twitter, I have Instagram, I have stand-up, I have like all these different avenues, and like, what's the best way to express it? And you can express the same idea through multiple avenues. So it's like, you might not have all the time available to you. Like, you might be working 3 jobs, and if you do a stand-up, you can only get up like a couple times a week. That's what you do. And sometimes you have to choose which avenue you're best at if you have to triage. But if you have the luck to be able to do all those things, then like put that main idea through all the different channels. Did that answer the question at all? I've been drinking.
It did some. I mean, I'm curious to see what somebody else may have to say, but I don't know.
What's that?
I didn't mean it like that.
Before we move on, Randall, yeah, because we're all be at the networking thing. Before we move on, Randall,
Alex,
do you have a couple of resources that you want to share? Because I feel like you have a different approach.
Resources to what? Sorry.
Of like studying your craft, improving your craft,
Getting
better at what you want to do.
Getting better at what you want to
writing.
do. Resources to get better at what you.
Okay,
A lot of people are talking.
I'm gonna say it one more time.
Yeah.
What resources do you recommend to improve your craft? Whatever the craft you want to talk about.
Oh, honestly, like, for me, podcast and YouTube was like how I learned how to do comedy. Like, so many of my comedy heroes either had podcasts or would appear on them, and I would just listen to everything they ever took a part of, and they have like a ton of gems about how to create stuff, how they got to where they are at, and so you you got something?
You just gave us the Raven face. Go ahead.
No, the high thought, but what you said, Industry Standard by Barry Katz.
Oh, that's good.
It is a dope-ass podcast. It
Kevin
literally
Hart
chronicles
has a good
everyone's journey. Start with the Kevin Hart one, because
Yeah.
it's just very good. And the people that you think made it overnight, they didn't. And it's a thorough, and it's not just comedians. It's thorough. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good. That's great. I would say The Champs with Neil Brennan and Moshe Kasher.
Yes.
Because that's a podcast. I can't remember when it started, but it was when black people weren't as into creating their own podcast. And they only have black guests, except for like Riff Raff for some reason. And they just interview them as like how they got to where they're at, like what's it like being a black person or just a person of color in the comedy space or the entertainment space. And so that's like a specific one that I'd recommend. But there's an app called Laughable where you can just literally put in the name of anybody that you really look up to, and they will have every single podcast that they've ever appeared on. And there's just hours and hours worth of them giving out gems and knowledge. So I would just get it straight from the horse's mouth. Whoever you really like, there's hours of content of them saying how they got to where they're at and what inspired them and how they create what they create.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. You at the mic there. Go ahead.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Jasmine D. Ellis, screenwriter, stand-up comic, and actress. My question is, when it comes to ideas, sketches, do you hear them or do you see them?
You said 2 things. You said ideas and then sketches. Are you specifically
When it
talking
comes
about
to
sketches?
Yeah, when it comes to like jokes or sketches, the seed of an idea, right? A thought, like a situation, your comedy, do you see it or do you hear it?
It comes in my brain. I wish I was more into. I didn't go to college.
You had a
For
semester.
instance, it could be a joke about a cat.
Because the thing is like, I write jokes so much. There's like, I'm so away from, like, I do that shit 8 hours a day. So it's like, there's nothing that it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill him with this. It's like, it's a fucking joke. It's like, I write it all the time. But I guess for bigger things, because I don't just write jokes, I guess with sketches, I usually think of like a dumb idea and I text it to Novi and she's just like, that's just a premise, that's not a full sketch. And I'm just like, okay, so let me get back like to the drawing
I'm
board.
more supportive than that.
Yeah, well, you are, but I will say in our writing duo, she is a stronger sketch writer than I am. So I always hit her with it to be like, what is this? What am I really thinking? I have like this really like slave sketch that I've been dying to do, and I'm just like so excited. But yeah, so like I will, when it comes to like film or something like that, I will technically see it, but I guess like for me, it just comes into my brain and I have like a note of just all sketches, characters, and half ideas that I have, and I will like come back to them, because sometimes it comes just as a one-off joke or like a premise. It's not really a fully like game to a sketch. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think it happens more than one way, too. I think sometimes you hear things. I think sometimes it's something that happens in real time, a scenario that you're in. It might be something that you observe. It might be, so I think creativity comes in different ways, and don't block it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't limit yourself to just one avenue. And always keep a notebook and a pen and a pad on you, and just write down the silly things that you say or that you hear or that you watch that makes you think of things. And then when you're ready to start writing, revisit that and then see, does this work better as a sketch? Does this work better as a stand-up joke? Maybe this might be a blog for the Washington Post. Maybe this might be a video blend for IG. You know what I mean? So just figure that out.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you.
All right, let's go ahead and move over to the other mic here. We're going to do 2 more questions, so we'll get you and then you. Okay, go ahead.
Great. Hello, my name is Alnisa Petty. I'm an actress. My question is going back to something that was brought up earlier in the evening. We were talking about typecasting, and I think a lot of times it gets a bad rep. And I took an acting class last year where the acting teacher was saying that, honestly, that's what you're going to get cast as first. In what instances have you guys felt that you actually benefited from being typecast, either as a performer or a writer, if at all?
I've never been typecast.
I've
so
never been
far,
cast.
I've never.
Right.
I don't have a
I'm still
job.
auditioning right now. Shit.
Are there any
Well, maybe we can
characters?
make it more of a
No,
writing
I
thing.
will
Have you ever
say-
been
no, I'll
typecast
say
as the
this.
black writer?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
have you
I
ever
have.
been typecast as a black writer? Like, cause you black, we
yeah.
want
The
that
token
out.
black.
I guess it's just in terms
Yeah.
of like you have a specific experience that they're looking for.
So if I get one more script for an audition that the gay character says yes, I'm gonna swallow the script. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what they want
Which
you to do,
would
dog.
be
That's what they
stereotypical
want you
of
to
you.
do.
You're still
They think,
swallowing.
oh, we
You
can't
see
get
what
this
I'm
gay nigga
saying?
script because he
Yeah,
probably gonna throw the script down his throat.
That's how you get the
Yeah,
role.
that's what they think.
Wait.
Okay.
What the
You
fuck
know
they
what?
want you to
That could
do?
be a
But to be
feature. That's
fair-
on
If you
pages.
swallow
That's
to be
on
fair-
pages.
on the table.
To be
You could have
fair,
picked any
Yeah, we
verb.
could-
to be fair, the character description did say what that mouth do. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
no, but you know what?
I hope this is helpful.
Your question was,
I
do
hate
you
all
benefit?
Has it ever gotten
Well,
you into
I mean,
a door?
it's-
Has
I guess
it
for me,
benefited you in
speaking-
any way?
yes.
And it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Speaking, yeah, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Speaking specifically, I'm just joking. Like specifically, like it has helped me because whenever the description is black male likes men, you know, it's like okay, that's me, so I can perform this. But it's like, you know, I always pay attention to the dialogue and like what this character's backstory is. So I mean, sometimes when I will tell them like, oh, I don't want to say this, I don't act like this, so it would be more comfortable for me to do it this way. Is that okay? And if not, then you know I don't want to do it. You know, you can make those choices for yourself. But
I think
being typecast, I mean, that's something that's gonna happen.
good.
It's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but it's just your discretion. It's really truly your choice. You have to figure out what's comfortable for you and what is not, and what kind of liberties, I guess, the writers or the people behind casting will allow you to go.
I'll add this real quick. I think that is true. You'll end up playing a type very close to who you are in the beginning. Like if we look at Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn, the Denzel, some of these people, you can see their personalities shine through the roles that they do. So your first roles will be very close to who you are, but it's up to you. First of all, if it's not written well and it looks like a stereotypical world that you cannot add depth to, then I pass on that. But if it's something, they might look at me and think, oh, I'm looking for a black girl from Brooklyn, but I'm going to breathe truth into that character. I'm going to give her 3 layers. I'm going to fill it out in a way that they didn't necessarily expect. So you just have to do what's honest to you and don't sell yourself out like Jay-Z did to the NFL.
Hot take, hot take.
Hot take. Hot take. Hot
Yeah,
take.
Gary, do you have
Carrie
anything to
was
add
just
to
trying
that?
to get
'Cause you be
attacked after the
booking.
show.
Go ahead.
Gary Books. Please.
Oh yeah, this nigga was in Spider-Man.
He had a
Small
high
part, but
maintenance.
you don't say that shit like
He was.
He was.
I was the small.
My brother.
You looked out the window and what'd you say?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm sitting there.
He had a
I've
line.
been sitting here thinking about this answer for a minute because I wanted to sit here and like, oh my god.
He gonna tell you to do it.
Oh, I'm not asking for like advice for myself. I'm just asking for.
Oh, I wasn't about to give no advice. I was about to just say, you was asking like, has it benefited? Do I see the benefits of it? What I was gonna say is, as a writer, I think that it hasn't necessarily. I feel like anybody that's looking specifically for a black writer is looking for a very specific black experience, or somebody that has a black body that echoes their white experience. And I don't think that. I feel like I didn't say a word to somebody out there. Okay. I didn't say a word to somebody out there.
Uncle Elroy dropping gems. Uncle Elroy. Yes.
No, but I'm like, I don't think that it's something that I can't bother myself to even worry about. Because, like, the folks who are hiring are going to hire who the fuck they hire. All I could do is be like, yo, I'm very fucking good at what I do. If you want this, you can get it. You got to pay for it, you know? Got to pay for it, but you can get it, you know?
We
It's
still
here.
talk about work or dick. Like, what's happening?
I'm just saying, if you want it, you can get. I'm just saying,
You
it's
want
here.
this dick.
No, yeah, but what I would say too is there's something that that Queen Latifah has said, because she had got a lot of flack for bringing down the house, right? And when she had did an interview, I loved what she said, because she was like, we worry so much as people of color and black people about not being the stereotypical role, but that person, Charlene, that character exists. Who she played, I'm like, that's my cousin Jackie, who was from Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Like, those characters do exist. So I think like she played that character with like integrity and dignity, and it was amazing. So I think like it's up to your discretion. If you can go to sleep at night doing it, then fucking do it. That's up to you. Everybody's not gonna love it, but that's your life.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to our last question at the other mic here. Go ahead.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name is Courtland Janae. You all are so dope. This panel was everything. Thank y'all for that.
You think this was the best one? Was
now,
this the
Garrett,
best
don't make me
panel?
lie, baby. I walked in a little late. Like, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take
Lie
it.
to us.
Fair
I'm gonna take
assessment.
it.
Yes, baby. It was everything.
Hell yeah.
Everything.
Was it good?
Okay,
Hell
so
yeah.
you all being such talented comedians and still writing behind the scenes, channeling someone else's voice, I want to know, how do you all still push your own brand forward while still writing for someone else and then having to channel their voice? Like, is that frustrating? Is it gratifying? Can you kind of like talk about that a
Do
little
you
bit?
mean push your own, you said my own brand like in the room?
No, like, if I guess with the assumption if like your end goal is to be talent yourself. I should have prefaced with that. I'm sorry.
Well, my job is to write for whoever. If I'm on Jimmy Fallon, if I'm on Colbert, if I'm on John, I'm writing for them. My job is to write for them. I do potato salad because this is the shit I run, this is my shit, and this is what I do. But it's like, when you're there, when you're on a job for a person, you write for them. That's your job, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do your own shit, then you should be working towards that. You should, like, if you have representation, ask them to get you meetings on different things. They should have their posts, and you should have your posts on, like, all the new shit that's coming out, or, like, E is wanting to come out with this, or, you know, Fuse is thinking about doing late night. Like, if you know about those things, then promote yourself and pitch yourself for those things. But please don't get it fucked up. When y'all get a job, don't worry about, well, they didn't take my joke, or that doesn't sound like me. It shouldn't. It should sound like fucking Stephen Colbert. It should sound like Seth Meyers. That's who you're writing for.
But I think I know where you were going with it though, as far as like, say the second part to your question again.
It's really good weed, guys.
No.
Is it frustrating or is it gratifying?
Yes, it is frustrating.
Okay.
It can be. I'm giving you the real part of it too, because as someone that performs and does jokes for myself and writes for myself constantly, when there's that pride behind, right? Yeah, don't get attached to stuff in the room. X is absolutely right about that, because at the end of the day, it is someone else's show. But there is nothing like seeing your shit that you wrote, that came from you, that you believe was funny and was truthful or whatever the goal is for the show, aired on television. So to that, I say the way to get over that frustration is if you start to see yourself, if you end up in a room on a show and you're noticing for a minute, like, man, my shit ain't getting across. Just it's not really getting on like I want to. Just practice on rewriting the joke. Most of the job in a lot of writers' rooms is rewriting something to make it as good and straight to the joke as and what it also does, and people don't talk about this a lot. When you're in a writer's room, if you are a performer, if you are like a stand-up or someone, it makes your stand-up better. You know how many jokes I keep to myself from shows I've written on? Because I'm like, oh no, they're not getting this shit. This is for me, you know?
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So you're able to filter that out. So there's so much you can take advantage of. You can use that frustration for your improvement.
Okay.
I will also say that it is very quickly, you realize it's a job. It's a job. Like, so it's 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, and it's a job, and you have to work that much harder for your own individual pursuit. So, like, as a stand-up, I was like, I'm never not gonna be on stage. And there was other stand-ups on my writing room, and everybody was like, fuck it, I gotta check, I'm tired. And I was still doing 10 to 12 shows a week. I was fucking tired, but I was like, when the show gets canceled, because it did, I'ma still be... Because it does, and you got to stay ready. So I'm not sacrificing my individual growth and talent for somebody else's vehicle that tanked. Like, when that show canceled, I was still killing. I had a new 35 minutes, 40 minutes, I was sharp. Everybody else got to go back to the drawing board and pick up where they left off. I ain't never leave shit off, so ain't shit to pick the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
So never give
And
up.
I
And
Millie
also,
rock.
I quit.
And I Millie rock. And I Millie rock.
Come in the club, shaking my dread, throwing me balls, busting these
That's my bitch. Wait, y'all shut up. Uncle talking.
I have to.
Shut the fuck up. You know this nigga slide you money like this at prom. Like, here you go. Here you go. Take care of your ass, nigga.
As long as you ain't the uncle that touched me, I'm good. Like, nigga, you close. Everybody got that uncle. We not
Don't
gonna
keep
talk
pointing
about
at
it.
me.
Black-
Don't keep pointing at me.
I'm so sorry. We gonna keep this thing moving. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay.
Just me? Cool.
I guess. Hey, yo, Randall, you want to go after that? I feel like I can't go after that right now. That's some shit. That's some like energy. I'm not trying to fuck with right now. I'm not trying to fuck with.
I don't know.
Shit. All right. Okay. She wanna hear me talk, so I'm gonna talk real quick. I don't know. I guess my shit is it is both frustrating and gratifying. It's gratifying when the shit that you believe in goes. It's frustrating when the shit that you believe in doesn't, but you don't get to make those choices all the time. The way that I feel like I still work on my shit constantly. Like, not necessarily with as many stand-up sets as Carrie, but I write constantly. I'm working on different projects all the time because I feel like I have something more to offer than just the couple hours that I put in a week at this gig. You know, I feel like I don't have nighttime available. My job is like I'm there till 2, 3 a.m. a lot, you know? So I have to get up early. I got to get up at 7 so I can have like a couple hours to write. Okay. And like I be out late, so I be sleepy all the time, but whatever, you know? I mean, I got to get shit done. So I'm going to try to go ahead and get it done while I got time.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
I'm tired right now.
I'm always
Yeah.
tired.
That's it.
the reason
Okay,
why
helps.
I kept going at my shit was simple, to piggyback off of what Carrie said, because I work on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, not with X Mayo. You feel me? So he is that's not mine. So I think just keep at it and keep doing your thing. You will be tired. You won't be able to go to Coachella. You won't be able to go to certain you need to fucking write because you have a job. You have other shit to do and you have to sacrifice. So I think just keep at that. Yeah.
Also, you just kind of keep it in perspective because before this, I was doing the exact same thing, except I didn't get to work as a writer during the day. I was delivering food for Postmates. You know, that shit sucks. So it's you get to write during the day. Sure, it's not exactly what you want to do, but you're still getting to create stuff. And then you have your second job at night, which is to do whatever you want to do. So I see it just net positive all the way around. You know, you just get to do creative stuff all day. The extra personal stuff you get to do at night, but it's dope.
I will say one thing, make the time to write. It won't find you. Carve that shit the fuck out and be disciplined and diligent in it because the time will pass you by.
Drag me.
Yeah.
That
And
might be
I'll
my
also
edge
say-
right there on the stage because
Yeah.
you took it right there.
And I ain't never had a job that wasn't fucking trash. You know? Truly. I think working's fucking whack, but like I'm good on rent for a minute, you know? So I'm like, do your thing.
Okay, uncle,
Yeah, I'm
you
good.
think
Yeah,
so?
everybody
No,
need
that-
rent.
that's
You that
Check it
rich
out.
uncle.
Yeah,
You that rich uncle. That's
Saturday
right.
Night Live
I'm
check
just saying I'm good on
is
That's
rent.
right.
Nah, I ain't got it, baby. I actually ain't got it. So yeah.
Novi, do you want to wrap us up?
You know, yeah, I do. Let's
Thank
go ahead
you.
and wrap everything up on that note. This is Randall Otis, Alex English, Carrie Cotted, Gary Richardson. I'm Shanovia Large. I'm going to hand things back over to X to
Yes,
wrap
give
us
it up for the writers. Oh my God.